Hi, this is Di, the bass playing mom, and welcome to my live stream. I had a great warm up because I thought I was live and I was just talking to myself. So probably not much different than it's going to be today, except for I saw that Uncle Yukon is already here. Uncle Yukon, say hi. I know that you came over from from Joel's show, Joel the Geek. He live streams at 2 o'clock every day. No, every Sunday. And then our friend Dan streams his trivia game show Dantix on usually Saturday nights, sometimes on Friday. And so we are trying to keep up. I also have a friend Mealer. She streams from time to time. So you want to check out the Mealer Husky. Hey, Martin, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining. We are going to be talking today about the concert movie Stop Making Sense by the Talking Heads. This concert movie is my personal favorite concert movie, but I will even defend it to say that it is the best concert movie ever made. And I'm not alone. The critics have said it too. Even Rolling Stone magazine has said it's the best concert movie ever made. And so hopefully before you came, you've checked it out. Oh, Uncle Yukon, thanks for checking out my channel. I really appreciate it. That's fun. Yes, usually we review bass gear. As you will see, I'm a bass player and I have lots of gear piled up in this room. My shooting room has all my rehearsal equipment in it. I play bass at church. Of course, none of us are there right now, but during quarantine, not so much, but I do play bass and I make videos. Hey, Sharon Hill is here. That is my mom. Hi, Mom. You know, it's always great when your mom even comes and checks out your stuff. My kids don't. My kids will have no part of it. Nothing about music, instruments, or the movie, or a group. Never heard of the movie or the group. Awesome! We will start with an even playing field. I am sure that my mom can keep up on the movie. I'm sure she has seen it because she probably had to listen to it at home. And I saw it when it came out in the theater in 1984. I am dating myself. In this room, I'm probably not the oldest person, but I'm close. Martin, thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much. How are you, by the way? I love Tina's bass playing. Thank you. Let's talk about Tina's bass. Oh, my mom's seen it too. Great. Uncle Yukon, I'll just keep you up. Martin, thank you for the super chat. You know, I know it's just, okay, let's deal with the elephant in the room right now. It's been a rough weekend, right? Those of you here in the United States know that there was a number of protests and riots having to do with police brutality here overnight. And Becky, thank you for liking my shirt. Yes, I am in my Hillsong shirt. It also ties into the movie. I wore gray because a lot of the band members wore gray in the movie. I didn't have gray pants on, so you can see them. So I was going to say, my friend Becky's here. I'm really excited. I am so sorry, though, Becky, because she's coming from Germany, and I'm sure she has not slept. Anyway, here in the States, it's been a rough night. We had rioting and looting overnight. I don't live right in the heart of Seattle. I live about 30 minutes north, but it's been rough. And so when I see your super chat, Martin, it just makes a big difference to me because I love to see something positive in the world. And I always joke around, since I'm just a little YouTuber, that when I get a super chat, I'm a professional, right? So thank you. So yeah, we're going to talk about Tina's bass playing. I would love to talk about that. I want to make sure all of you are okay. I'm just checking in. Let me know in the chat, please, that you're doing okay, that you were safe overnight, and that you're all right. We just need to all make that check-in right now and just check in with each other and make sure we're doing okay. So that's why I looked at a super chat. Oh, Martin, another one. Go. You'll make me cry. Now stop. Let's just put it out there that I'm a big crier, okay? Let's just let it go. Hey, Trot. Oh, would you please, TH, tell me how to pronounce your name? In the States, we have no way of knowing how to pronounce something like that. So if you'd spell it out phonetically in the chat, that would really help me today. Evening all, hope you're doing well and you're safe. Yes, I hope everybody is safe. And please let me know where you're, everyone check in with where you're at. Like, hey, I'm in Maple Valley, and I'm okay. Oh, Martin, now stop. I have to have a tissue. I didn't know I was going to have to. Thank you, Becky. I am a crier. Becky has seen my channel. You probably know I'm a crier. Sometimes Campbell Soup commercials. There's one with a kid in foster care. Oh my gosh, that was it. I was just undone. So maybe my channel's going to have to change to die the crying bass player. Also, if you see my reviews of these, it's actually these. I did a product review of these in-ear monitors. So these are different than earbuds like you guys would, normal people use, but musicians use these. They actually have drivers. So they're a lot more powerful, and this is what we use on stage a lot. And when I reviewed these, I cried. So Mackie, the manufacturer, just loves me. We're going to be seeing more of Mackie when everything reopens, right? And today is the last day in my state of... Oh, Joel's here. Oh, good. Joel was crying in his live stream. I saw the newscasters were crying this morning. You know, Seattle got looted pretty bad and some fires set with police cars last night. And the reporters have been down in downtown Seattle reporting, and people volunteered and were just showing up and cleaning up the mess. They were cleaning the businesses. They were cleaning the streets. And I saw the reporter who was doing the interview start to cry, and then she kicked it back to the guy in the studio, and he was crying. So we're all just a hot mess here. So let's just put it out there that our feelings are here, and we can put them into the topic at hand. But please let me know, because you guys don't all know each other in the chat, even though I feel like I know you all and you're all my best friends. In fact, I can't differentiate between internet friends and real friends. There's no boundary anymore. So would you in the chat check in, tell me where you are, and tell me you're okay? And that would be nice for the other people to know where you're at too. And I know we have a mix. We have musicians and non-musicians. So if you guys need to explain something to a non-musician in the chat, just go ahead and explain it. But otherwise, we'll just try to keep the conversation at a level that everybody can enjoy, musician or not. If you're a musician too, you know, let me know in the chat. I would love to hear that you're a bass player or a drummer or a piano player, or I know Joel the Geek can run the soundboard and he's a great singer. So you gotta know those little facts. Joel the Geek, however, has been my friend forever, and my mom is here. So we can just kick back. This is like being on a Zoom call, except for you gotta write everything. I threw some people off last time, but hey, Joel, I don't know how to make you a moderator. Let me see. Nope. I can put you in timeout though. I'm using this thing. You see it here, powered by StreamYard. So I don't quite see everything that you can see. Oh, that's a message from my sister. Oh, can't make it. Okay. She didn't need to send a message. There's no mandatory. So yeah, I don't know if on here I can change anybody into a moderator. This might be my last time using StreamYard because I'm going to need mods. So I will change that. So hang in there with me and I can make you guys mods next time. All right. I just wanted to use this stream. Now Joel's crying happy tears. Oh, Joel, why? Oh, anyway, can I be a moderator? Sorry, I don't need somebody. Martin, I'd love to. I don't have that button on here. So this will be my last stream using StreamYard, and then I'll be able to make people moderators after this. But let's finish what we came here for today. And thank you for checking in. Sorry, it's an emotional stream, but you know, you just don't know what you're going to get with Bass Playing Mom. I would like to give a little shout out to my real mother, Sharon Hale, who's here. She paid for this. Oh, let me show you. Just a second. I'm not leaving. My mom paid for this. This is the bass that my mom got me in middle school, and I still have it. Because I am one of those people. You made me laugh trying to make me a mod, and then you said you almost muted me. Yes. Yes, it's all true. That's all I can do. I can mute you. I can't make you a mod. So we won't use StreamYard again. Then I'll be able to do that. Anyway, this is my bass. It is I'm going to cover up the registration number so you don't steal it. Let's see. It is a Music Master bass by Fender. And Mama bought this for me back in '82, I think. It's a 79, so it sat in the music store for a little while, I guess. And Aw, thank you. Yes, I think it's beautiful too. It did take a fall. It did fall. You can see that it's broken right here. I was standing in band practice with it just hanging here, and it just dropped on the floor all by itself. So that is why I have something on it now. They call this a strap lock, and it locks in place and it's screwed into the base. So the strap can't just spontaneously fall off. And so this is the bass Mama bought me. So Mom gets all the credit right here today, because without her making this purchase, it would have been kind of a dead end deal. And so I did have to replace the pick guard. It got cracked in the fall. And so this piece of plastic that goes around the outside has been replaced. So if Uncle Yukon's still here, yeah, in 82. I was old in 82. Yeah, I was in middle school. Gosh, Uncle Yukon, thanks for making me feel young. I appreciate it. So that's why I still have it. I don't still play it in shows because, well, can you see? Look at the keys. They're all discolored. Someone in the chat, tell me what's that word that I'm looking for. Not oxidized, something like that. Anyway, it's distressed. This bass is distressed. So I didn't exist for a few more years in 82. Thank you, Becky. Bring the youth to the room. So anyway, it's fitting that I'm showing you a bass from 1982 because we're going to talk about a movie from 1984. I'm going to put the bass back though. So I'm not leaving. I'm right here. I'm just putting it back in its stand. It is one of 4 basses. 3 of them are on the rack behind me, and then one over there on the guitar rack. Tint. Tint's not the word I was looking for, but oh well. So today we are going to talk, this mirror thing is backwards. All right, we're going to talk about the movie Stop Making Sense by the Talking Heads. So in chat, come on, raise your hands or whatever and let me know who is familiar with the Talking Heads or the movie Stop Making Sense. I hope I have some people. Mom, I'm counting on you to know something about this movie. Oh, and by coincidence, the bass that I just showed you, the Music Master bass, was a style of bass that Tina Weymouth, the bass player for the Talking Heads, actually played. She actually played a Music Master, not in this movie, but she did play that bass. So here is my movie. Look, it would not play on my DVD player. I couldn't figure it out. It's a Blu-ray, but there's no blue on the top. Isn't there supposed to be like a blue bar on the top, at the top of Blu-rays? Anyway, so I could only play it downstairs, but it's streaming on Amazon Prime and I think Comcast On Demand both have the movie. So if you want to watch the movie after we discuss it, there are spoilers, but it's a concert movie. It's okay if a concert movie has spoilers. You can go check it out. I jumped on here unplanned. You should be sleeping. Yes, Becky, what time is it in Germany? You should be sleeping. So, boy, we got the Northwest represented here. Uncle Yukon is from this area as well. She also played a Mustang. Yes, she also played a Mustang. She in this movie, she's playing, oh no, I got the name of it and I wrote it down. Where did I write it? It's got a Valette Citron. It's the blue bass that she plays. And then she plays a Hufner club bass in this movie. So female bass players, we don't have a lot of representation. And when I was a kid playing bass, I was looking at 2 bass players, 3 bass players that I looked at for guidance. One, of course, has to be Jaco Pastorius. If you're not familiar with him, you want to look up the song Birdland on the album Heavy Weather. Jaco Pastorius is the bass player on that. No, Weather Report, from the band Weather Report. Heavy Weather is the name of the album. He was an amazing bass player. And so, 12, 14, Becky, you are allowed to go to sleep as soon as you feel like you need to go. Please take care of yourself. That's first priority. So, Jaco Pastorius, I loved. Geddy Lee from Rush, of course. Geddy Lee is amazing. And Tina Weymouth. So it is so great to have a female bass player that a kid could look up to and say, hey, that's what it looks like to play bass. Still not a ton of us. I think there's only one other bass player on YouTube doing gear reviews that's female. So we're a bit of a unicorn, but we're here and we're doing our thing. And I didn't realize how much my playing style was influenced by Tina until I started learning the first song on here. I learned Psycho Killer this week, and I realized that I play the way I play because I was influenced by Tina, and then I have to go against that to play in a different style. So that was kind of cool. So we're talking about the Talking Heads. Oh, The Color of Blue. Oh, of her bass. Oh, it's amazing. Tina Weymouth, Paul McCartney, and Geezer Butler. Martin, tell me who Geezer Butler is. I know Paul McCartney, of course, from the Beatles, and Tina Weymouth from Talking Heads, but I do not know Geezer Butler. So you can fill me in on that. So we get started talking about the movie, talking about the concert film. I hope some of you watched it in preparation this week. If you haven't, like I said, it's easy to get a hold of. You can put it up. Internet disconnected. I've been doing this past week. Uncle Yukon, I'm so sorry. Your internet has been unreliable lately. Oh, Geezer Butler's from Black Sabbath. Excellent. Well, of course I know who Black Sabbath is. That makes perfect sense. And that's why the name sounds familiar. I do know that name. Boy, it is hard not to just stare at the chat. Remember, there's a camera up there I should actually be looking at. Third live stream, you know, you're learning. Anyway, so the Talking Heads. All right, we got to fill Becky in on the Talking Heads. So the Talking Heads was a band that was kind of classified as a punk rock band because they came out of the CBGBs, which was a venue in New York City in, I want to say, 1980-ish. The Police is one of the bands that came out of CBGBs. When the Talking Heads were forming, it was just Tina Weymouth, the bass player, and her then boyfriend, who's now her husband, Chris France. And the story goes that the two of them, when they were forming a band, were auditioning different lead singers and asking people to try out for the band. And they almost went with Blondie because she was also playing at CBGBs. Sometimes brilliance is all in one spot. Like, you know how like Beethoven and Mozart, they all knew each other and they all came up at the same time, or like young adult authors like John Green and the other young adult authors that all got famous at the same time. It's kind of an iron sharpens iron thing that other people, their brilliance will rub off on somebody else. And I think that happened at that time. Everybody in that venue was really brilliant. And yes, Joel, I am bummed that CBGBs isn't there anymore and we never get to go. It is such a bummer. And so Talking Heads came out at that time, and most of the other bands that were getting famous at CBGBs, like I think the Ramones, were, it made an appearance in Gilmore Girls. We'll never miss that. Joel loves Gilmore Girls, and I did too. The first few seasons, it got weird. Kind of jumped the shark in college to me. But anyway, CBGBs, they grew out of that, except for they had a reputation of being different because they were kind of preppy. The drummer in this concert wears a polo shirt. David Byrne wears a suit, a really big suit. And so it's a different thing than the way the other bands were. And I think that their music was more influenced by funk and new wave than it was really influenced by pop or rock. So it's a little bit different, but they did get very popular at one point in right around 84. They had the song Burning Down the House. And a lot of people knew that song on mainstream. And so I think that that's when they got really popular, and that's when they filmed the concert. And this is their actual concert. Like, this is their actual tour that was filmed. They filmed 3 nights of the tour. They did them all at the same venue, though. Let's see. Their style was so great. Very much new wave compared to the other bands that played there. Yeah, their style was so different from the other bands, like Blondie, that was playing there. So I remember the ads for the movie before it came out, and they would say, "Why the big suit?" And this is why they would say that. Because part of the concert, there was an entire song, maybe 2 songs, where David Byrne, the lead singer who got the part of being the lead singer of the Talking Heads, performed in a very, very large suit. Now, it was very big side to side. It wasn't big front to back. He didn't have a big bottom in the suit. He was just side to side. He had this big suit on. And that gets back to one of the things that makes this movie great, I think, is the staging. This concert, this is how they ran the entire tour. How do I explain it? Was based on kabuki theater. So the staging was like super thought out beyond any concert you could ever attend. And that's why it was great that they captured it on film. So in kabuki theater, the stagehands are dressed in black, and it's up to you to imagine that they're not there. And that is the way they did this concert. So the concert begins on a completely empty stage. Now, you and I who know what backstage a concert looks like know it'd just be kind of piles of junk, and it isn't piles of junk, but it's actually arranged properly. But it starts out on a completely bare stage. And that's one of the things that makes this concert great, is that it starts that way. And by the end of the concert, it is complete staging. Everything is out. And they have rolled it all out piece by piece. And in the commentary, they were saying that one of the difficulties was every time they needed to run a rehearsal or a sound check, they had to load everything in again and then load it all back out before the concert. So it was a tremendous undertaking, like a crazy undertaking. And so that was one of the things that makes it great, is the staging. The music is good, but the staging is insane. So Talking Heads probably not my favorite band ever. And I think they definitely had their jump the shark moment. But that moment in time and the way that that was staged was amazing. First number with the boombox. Yes, my mom was talking about. The first song was Psycho Killer. And David Byrne is alone on the set, which is no set, and no one backstage. And he comes out with a boombox, hits play. Oh, Becky, a boombox was the kind of stereo we used to have. It was a big box-looking stereo, and it would play cassette tapes. Those were like CDs, but before CDs. And they would stretch and break and tie in knots. But that was what he came out with. He'd push play. The music was really in the house. He would push play, and then he played the song with just guitar. So the first song was just guitar. So it looked like when you arrived at the concert that you were just getting an acoustic set. But you weren't, because the next song, that was Heaven, the song Heaven. Tina Weymouth actually comes out, and they roll out the first part of the stage, which is the riser, which actually had all the amplifiers under it as well. It gets rolled out on the stage, and she starts to play. Oh, you like them because of the B-50 and the B-52s. Yeah, the B-52s. I love new wave music. We had a new wave night at the at one of the elementary schools, and we went out and got to dance to new wave music. It was so fun. Becky has cassettes. Yay. I just thought she was younger. Maybe she wouldn't remember, but you have cassettes. That's great. I don't have a cassette player right now. My husband had a boombox. He just sold it. So the second song is Heaven, and that's where we see Tina for the first time. She's playing that Valette Citron, that beautiful blue bass. It is huge compared to her. Like, she's a small person, and if you see her now, she is still a small person. But it was a gigantic bass, and she plays this gigantic bass. It's not too far from the color of my walls, and does the song Heaven, which is a song about a dance club. And so when they talk about heaven as a place where nothing really happens, it's because they're talking about a discotheque. And then the next song, Found a Job. No, the next song is not Found a Job. That is out of order. The next song is Thank You for Sending an Angel. And on Thank You for Sending an Angel, that's when we see Chris for the first time, who was the drummer. And then the three are on stage, which was the original Talking Heads band. It was just those three. Oh, that is awesome. You recorded music. Okay. Everybody, can we relate to making a mixtape? Do you remember that? You would take a tape and you would record all of your favorite songs. I can totally relate to the mixtape. Becky was making those, trying to get the song, and then the DJ would talk over the beginning and ruin the recording, and you'd have to wait until the song came on again. Oh, thank goodness for streaming. What a difference it makes. So fourth song was Found a Job. And on the fourth song, we see Jerry Harrison, who was the guitar for the Talking Heads, and he comes out and sings on that song. I love Found a Job. Tina's bass playing is amazing on that song. Yes. Yes. And let's talk about Tina's style of bass playing for a second. Time to start off. Yes. Trying to record a mixtape. So Tina's bass playing, she plays, well, she just made it up because I don't think she knew how to play bass. She just grabbed a bass. She wasn't properly taught how to play. And she would play the song, and there was a lot of space between the notes. It's what we call staccato. Just a second, I'm grabbing a bass. So a lot of bass playing you hear now, especially since I play worship music, you see my Hillsong shirt, right? Especially in Hillsong. So in Hillsong, right, we'll play a car going down the street. I thought that was a weird noise out of my amp. A lot of long notes. So the note will ring. We play a lot of long notes. Even if we're playing a lot of notes, we let them ring. But Tina muted with this hand, I think. So she would rest her fingers down to stop the ringing. And so her notes would be with that little space between each note. And I don't think you really get that much. Hear all that space? She put all this space, which I think the quiet part is just as important as the part where you're playing. Yeah, thank you, Mom. She did. She paid for the proper bass lessons. Hours and hours, and I would just get in trouble because my nails were too long. That's what I remember. Now I'm really disciplined about cutting them, but I do have like really long nail beds. It's just one of those things. So, yeah, so Tina's bass playing, it had a lot of space in it, but she also moved her fingers really fast. And she played with a pick. She also played electric guitar on one of the songs. She plays electric. And she also, what was I going to say? Yeah, she could play, but she played fingerstyle most of the time. Like Jaco Pastorius, Geddy Lee, and myself. We play fingerstyle most of the time, where our fingers, let your fingers do the walking, as Jack Black would say in School of Rock, where you're playing that way. And so that always intrigued me about Tina's bass playing style, was that she was able to have so much space between the notes, but then have it sound so full. Because she was, well, we'll get to that. Jumping ahead. So we were talking about Found a Job, which was great. That's a song about a family that finds happiness by starting their own television station. Isn't that interesting? I mean, it was just before videos, and that was a way of finding things. Frank is here. Hi, Frank. We were just talking about Tina Wyma's bass playing style, but now we're jumping back into talking about the different songs in the movie Stop Making Sense, which I would say is the best concert film of all time. And I would love to hear what you guys think. Do you think it was the best concert film? I think it was, because it told a story. It wasn't just that, oh, the things came out onto the stage as they needed them. And the musicians came out as they needed them in the order that they joined the band, but also that it told the story. That was really up to the cinematographer and the director. They made sure that they showed people's faces, and they showed the relationship between the musicians, which I think is one of those things that people who aren't musicians don't always catch. Yeah, Frank, you're up late. The relationship between musicians. So Frank and the other musicians, you can chime in too what that interplay is, right? Because if the music's going to be playing together, then don't the people playing the instruments need to be together? And so I think that interplay is really shown in the faces of the musicians. And the way they did that was they shot the entire movie 3 times, right? One time they shot it from the left, so that none of the cameramen were in the shots because they were all shooting from the left. One night they shot it entirely from the right. And then one night they shot it from the back, from the, excuse me, they shot in the back from the view of the audience. So the cameras never hopped over each other, and you got to see it from all sides. Martin says, for me, Led Zeppelin's The Song Remains the Same as the best concert film, and then The Talking Heads. Okay, so I will give you Led Zeppelin's The Song Remains the Same. I went to it. I saw it in the theater. My question is that the Led Zeppelin movie that has like the weird like fantasy psychedelic sequence in it? Because that was weird to me. Maybe I'm thinking of a different Led Zeppelin movie. But I could be right? It was really odd. Anyway, the one thing they never do is take us out of the show. We never leave the show. And they thought about that. Like, you don't show all the gear arriving or the semi-trucks or any of those things. And then what they also did, they ended up not showing the audience. And the decision to not show the audience was by happenstance. The first night, they had the lights on the audience. They were shooting the audience, and they just froze under the lights. They didn't participate. It looked really bad. And it was too much lighting. And so they took the lights down to the point that the audience would enjoy the show, which meant they were at 0. And they couldn't film it. So we don't see the audience until the very last song, which is perfect because it never takes you out of the moment of, oh, those people are having fun. You think you're having fun. And when they played the movie in the theaters, people would get up and dance underneath the screen and yell and scream like they were at a real concert. So that happy mistake really fed into it being a great concert film. I'm going to look at the chat. Led Zeppelin's too new for me. I love that, Uncle Yukon. That's perfect. Yeah, it was weird, but the music was great. Okay, Martin, so you know that was a weird movie. See, the Talking Heads are weird, same as everyone. They're weird, but not that kind of weird. All right, so what's the next song? Slippery People, and that's when the backup band that was on this tour, Steve Scales on percussion, Edna Holt singing, Lynn Mabry singing, and Alex Weir guitar all came out onto the stage. And then the next song was Burning Down the House, and that's when Bernie Worrell came, and the entire band was on stage, and all of the gear had arrived on stage. They all were gray. That's why I'm in gray today. I almost wore blue eyeshadow because everybody in the 80s wore blue eyeshadow. I've forgotten that Tina actually did wear blue eyeshadow in the show. And I didn't do it because I couldn't remember what Tina wore. Not that you see eyeshadow under glasses and a ring light anyway. So, which is kind of neat. The whole band was out on their most popular song, which kind of makes sense. So then Life During Wartime is the song they played next. And that's the one that I thought the title of was This Ain't No Party. And I remember that song when it came out. Remember, this ain't no party. This ain't no disco. This ain't no fooling around. Which became kind of a banner because this was at the time, the song came out at the time that disco was dying and becoming less popular. And they would get to venues and there would literally be a banner at the venue that said, this ain't no disco. Which was never their insinuation. That was not what they were trying to say because they were talking about life in wartime. All right, so next is Making Flippy Floppy, which has almost nothing to do with the song, I don't think. And David Byrne said he doesn't know what Flippy Floppy is. Oh, Joel is wearing blue eyeshadow. Thanks for sharing, Joel. You have to check out Joel's channel, you guys. Don't forget to check out Joel the Geek. He's doing some work around cosplay. Martin says he's got peanut butter to last a couple of weeks. Wasn't the song? I've got yes. Yes, it was. There were some strange lyrics. So the guy was it? Uncle Yukon has never wore blue eyeshadow? Is that what you're saying? And my mom saw the pictures. Yes. Yep, some blue eyeshadow went down. If you want to go into the early 90s, there was blue mascara too. Anyway, next, The Swamp. And you'll remember that song. That is the one where David Byrne, oh my gosh, can I do it? Can I do what he does in that song? They open it and he's not in the shot, right? It's the red background. Oh, I have to use the chair. He's in there's the red background and he actually comes up and goes, hi, 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 hi. Anyway. He sings that song. I don't think that's the part he's singing, but you know what I mean. He comes up into the shot like that, face first, like, oh, great moment. Then at 54 minutes, they do, oh, Becky loves blue eyeliner. Well, blue eyeliner was pretty awesome. That can make a comeback. What a Day It Was, and then This Must Be the Place, the Naive Melody. Then they do Once in a Lifetime. Speaking of how weird the Talking Heads were, David Byrne especially weird, but everybody, I mean, Tina's little, anyway. Once in a Lifetime is the one where he goes like this. Same as it ever was. 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 I remember doing that so much in high school. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. I hope you're all doing that at home. That's where I wish I could see everybody. We'll have to bring somebody on for the next one. And then after Once in a Lifetime, which is the one where, you know, where he's saying, this is not my beautiful house. This is not my beautiful wife. Letting the days go by. I mean, you got to be thinking about that one all the time. Then David Byrne goes backstage, which is really backstage in this setup. He goes off stage because he's got to change clothes. And Tina and Chris with the singers Edna and Lynn and with the guitar player Alex Weir come back and stay on stage, and they do Genius of Love by the Tom Tom Club. So because Tina and Chris, who are married now, are their own like rhythm section, they can do what they want. And they were their own separate band, the Tom Tom Club, which did dance music. And so they performed the most famous Tom Tom Club song, which is the one that goes, I'm in heaven with my boyfriend. I know, no singing, but they do that song. And Tina actually sings lead on that song, and she can still tear it up. Like, there's live stuff. She's still singing and playing that song. That song was also the background in the song Fantasy by Mariah Carey. She, you know, I mean, they were credited on that song. And there's a little known secret that Tina and Chris played on some of the Gorillaz songs. Part of the reason Gorillaz, you can't actually see the band is because you would know it was the Tom Tom Club. Genius Love has a simple repeating bass riff, but sounds so groovy. Oh my gosh, it is the grooviest song. Yes, that was not like throwaway disco music, like, oh, here, dance to this. It was quality stuff. So pretty cool. All right, so then everyone comes back out, and that is when David Byrne comes out in the gigantic suit, in the big suit. And the story goes that David had, they couldn't afford sets, right, when he first started as a musician. So he would make costume changes. He liked to wear a suit so that he looked like an everyday man, but he could only afford polyester suits, which got really stinky when you sweat on them. But anyway, he was trying to think of a costume change and ended up using the big suit because everything in the theater has to be bigger. And he thought, well, what if the suit is really, really big? So he actually drew like a rectangle with a little tiny head on the top. And the suit had its own carrying case because it wouldn't fit on a hanger or in a regular closet. And so they took very good care of the suit. I noticed in the next song, Take Me to the River, he takes, is that the one he does it? I think so. Gosh, I feel like I'm missing a song. I might be missing a song. He takes the jacket off. It might have been for Take Me to the River. He takes the jacket off and he hands it to a roadie because you don't just throw that jacket on the floor and you're not throwing it out in the crowd. It was part of the big suit. I'm sure it was very, very expensive. So the next song that I have here is Take Me to the River at 1 hour and 10 minutes. And that's what the girls called, and the backup singers, Edna and Lynn, they called it Going to Church because that definitely had a gospel style to it. It was an Al Green song who was pretty mixed up individual, but that song, which was about a variety of topics, included the lyric to Take Me to the River. And that song, that's been covered so many times in so many different ways, but their cover is awesome and it lasts for 8 minutes. So it's really the precipice the culmination of that concert. And then they do their encore number, which was Cross-Eyed and Painless is the last song. And that's when we finally get to see the audience. We see some people in like their 80s garb, you know, and their short shorts and their crop tops and their big hair dancing around to the music. And you finally get grounded in where you are because the movie is timeless. It's super timeless. Like there's a lot of synth riffs, and like when they have slides, they're not on a PowerPoint with an LED projector. They're like in a real old-fashioned projector. The slides in the background, but it is pretty timeless. Yes, Martin, I love the gospel feel of that song too. I think it's great. So let's run in. I'd like to start an argument now. There's 9 of us here. We have enough people to argue about this. Is this the best concert movie of all time? I say yes, because the sound quality, it was the first movie that was recorded using digital audio, you know, concert movie like that. It did have some dubbing, so they fixed stuff where like wires were bad, so it sounded great. You can't buy it. If you buy the soundtrack, it has different songs on it from different nights. It doesn't accurately portray it. So my son Caleb made me like a disc at some point that was the audio off of it so he could listen to the real music. The staging, the cinematography was amazing and told the story of each person in the band and how they related to the other members of the band. The lighting, David Byrne only allowed tungsten lighting. Everything had to be white light. There were no colored lights used. And the lighting was different on every song. And they never lit the audience. They used awesome storytelling because you got caught up in the story of the original band members and then the other band members that were added for the tour. It was timeless. Most of the people wore gray, so it was just timeless. They blacked out all the instruments. All the instruments were blacked out except for a few, so the stage looked clean and you made your focus be on the people, not the instruments. It had critical acclaim. He wore a really big suit. Tina played bass, and she had some awesome basses in this. She also played bass. She played bass pedals or keys that you call them. That was really cool. And then the musicians. They're all quality jazz, funk musicians who all know exactly what they're doing, and they sound great. So I am still going to contend that this is the best concert movie of all time, and nothing has beat it since. Prove me wrong. I would love to hear it. Please let me know. I can't see you, so you got to throw it in the chat. I would love that. Please prove me wrong, because I haven't found anything better since 1984, and that is a sad commentary. So if you guys know something better, I want to hear about it because I need to see that movie. So what do you guys think? Martin, after taking this into consideration, how well it was produced and recorded, I think it's better than Zeppelin's. Plus, none of the weird, unnecessary stuff. Netflix was really weird. It was like at one point I'm just like, where am I? What is happening? I was at the historic Everett Theater watching this thing going, what in the world is going on? Maybe if I'd saw it when it happened. I've sold Martin. Yay! An accomplishment. Yes. So for those of you just joining us, we're talking about, and I'm making my case for Stop Making Sense, featuring the Talking Heads and the Tom Tom Club being the best concert movie of all time. And I want somebody to chime in and tell me how wrong I am. I would love that. Please tell me what I got wrong. What did I miss? What movie has come out since 1984 that I need to see? What concert film? What did I miss? There must be a better one, right? I mean, Hillsong performing in Israel, some pretty good stuff, but I wouldn't say it was better. Joel the Geek says, I've only seen This Is Spinal Tap. Oh, you mean this movie? I happen to have it handy. And Madonna, Truth or Dare, so I need to watch Madonna. Oh my gosh, Madonna from that era is so weird. I bet there's a lot of extra weird stuff in that. So, yeah, I got a couple other movies here. I also have That Thing You Do and Whiplash. But I would love to hear from you guys. I would love somebody to change my mind. Martin, I don't usually change my mind once I say I believe something, I stick to it. Me too. I'm sticking to this. I'm waiting for someone to knock me down. Tell me what I have to see. What did I miss that's going to change my mind? Thank you. George Strait, Pure Country, 1992. George Strait, Pure Country, 1982. Does it matter that I don't like country music? Will I still like it? Uncle Yukon? Will that wreck it for me? I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters. The music didn't matter. I mean, I guess if it was Okay Go, there's where the music matters. Like, it can't be that bad. Rolling Stones, Flying Circus. Victor, I didn't know you were here. Hi. How are you? I'm writing these down. See, I literally have a pink pen and paper. Oh, I should write down who recommended it. Rolling Stones, Flying Circus. Flying Circus. And that was Victor Posadas. All right. What is the best concert movie of all time? Because I think I found it. Stop Making Sense. The Talking Heads. The first movie I ever rented on, well, yeah, I rented the DVD on Netflix. It's a drama, not really about the concert activity. Oh, okay. Well, I'm not above a good drama. Rush in Rio. Oh my gosh, The Boys in Brazil. That is so good. Bobby, I love that. I have seen that. Okay, my aside on The Boys in Brazil. The song YYZ, my musician friends and any of you old timers who listen to Rush will enjoy this. In Brazil, the Brazilians, when they're in an audience, they like to sing. I think we all know this. I know that when they visit Disneyland, they start singing in the middle of Disneyland. I know we go, ole, 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 ole. Like in Brazil, you sing to show your enthusiasm about something. And when Rush got to the song YYZ, the entire crowd in Brazil sang it. Da 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 da. It's all instrumental. There is no singing part. And they sang it out loud in the crowd. It is amazing. I will rewatch that and see if that beats out this movie. Like, I have been challenged now when you tell me that about Rush, Boys in Brazil. So if you get a chance to watch it, everyone else will have to watch it to see the Brazilians' reaction to Rush. Who knew? Who knew that Rush was such a big deal to Brazilians? Martin Ross, what about the Rolling Stone? Give me Shelter movie. Oh, I should check that one out too? Okay, I'm writing it down. Martin Ross, Rolling Stones, Give Me Shelter. Okay, I will watch that too. I haven't seen that, so that would be good because I'm sure that there's a better movie out there, but if I haven't seen it, I'm just going to keep thinking that Stop and Making Sense is my favorite. But I was also a drama kid, another thing my mother paid for, and all the staging and the lights and all that and the storytelling, that's the thing that gets to a drama kid, right? Drama geeks are going to love that stuff. So let's see if these other movies compare. I'd like to see if they're timeless. Timeless isn't easy. I know I went and saw Daryl Hall and John Oates concert in the movie theater, and they're like, oh, but our music is timeless. And I think I love Daryl Hall and John Oates. They have the best band, the best bass player. They get to work with the best musicians, but I would never call their music timeless. Private eyes, they're watching you. That's not timeless. Okay, the Beatles, Let It Be film. Oh my gosh, Martin. Now you're going to make me cry when I think about that movie. That was like the end of the Beatles, wasn't it? Like, we saw that in the theater, Mom, didn't we? Like, we were totally in the theaters for the Beatles. Let It Be. Because I remember when they went on that roof And the guys had the big scruffy beards for the, oh my gosh. Yeah, I've got to watch that again. Oh, don't even start on the Beatles breakup. Yoko, dang you, Yoko. Anyway, I love that movie. I've got to watch it again, but because I haven't seen it since I was a kid. We did see it in the theater. I know that. Yeah, I haven't not seen that since I was a kid. Oh, I'm going to have to see that. Shoot. Anybody else have any recommendations before we wrap up? I usually go about 40 minutes. We've gone way over because we got a room full of people, which is so exciting. I wanted to make sure that, okay, we were making sure everybody was okay. That was the important thing. And make sure you're all right. I have not filmed the video for Tuesday. So if you have any suggestions, I will add them to my list. Somebody suggested my EBS pedal last time, and it's the octave bass, and I made that video this week. So your suggestions are always welcome if you have a suggestion for this week's gear video. I'm going to do one replying to comments, maybe today or might be for next week. We'll see. I'm also going to be redoing my bass collection. Now there's 4 basses. I'm going to make a new bass collection video. You remember that day, Joel? When I made my most popular video, it was because Joel owed me some footage. He didn't get it to me. I didn't have anything to do. So I talked about my basses. And that was my most popular video. So the credit for my most popular video goes to Joel. You never know what's going to happen in happenstance. You know, there is this sort of thing, this kismet, this thing that we're meant to be. And if you go to conventions or any concerts, like it is all about what is just supposed to happen. All right, there's a movie I have on Prime Watch that's called The Decline of Western Civilization. It's about the punk scene in LA in the 1980s. Ooh, see, Joel, yeah, you remember. I'm going to be remaking that video. I'm doing the 30-day challenge with Daryl Eves, and that's one of our assignments, is to remake our most popular video, which actually mine does need to be updated. So, oh, Martin, you have 4 basses, and 3 of them are Fender P basses. So you're like me. I have 3 Fender short scales. To tell you the truth, I'm a little bit torn about Fender. This is a heart-to-heart. I'm a little torn because when I went to NAMM, it was kind of, the Fender part was kind of pompous and small and weird. Like you could only play instruments really if you went into the like dealer, like you had to have the right tag, and they rented a small area. I got a bad vibe from Fender, and I'm not as supportive as I once was. But I have 3 of their basses, and I love them. So, you know, I kind of have mixed feelings now. My most popular video is a reaction video, so I can't remake that. Oh, shoot. No, you can't. But you could do something that tied in, couldn't you? The Who, Isle of Wight, the skeleton suit that... Oh, John Entwistle is a myth. Okay. Victor, I'm trying to, The Who, Isle of Wight. Who, Isle of Wight. I'm not sure what you're saying about John Entwistle. I love John Entwistle though. I really want a Rickenbacker though. My heart is torn between both. Rickenbackers are expensive, and saying them correctly is Rickenbacker, but they're really expensive. So I really want one. It would be awesome, but it's not in my budget at all. I found out that the Music Man basses come in short scale. So I've got my eye on a Stingray short scale so bad. That's all I want in this world now. Paul McCartney is the main reason for me wanting a Rick. Well, yeah, that makes sense. Didn't Geddy Lee used to play a Rickenbacker too? I think he did. Okay, so Victor, something about the I remember the skeleton suit. I don't know about the myth part, but I remember a skeleton suit. All right. All right, guys, I think we're going to wind it up. I'm so grateful you guys came. Unless you can think of something we need to keep talking about, I will stay as long as you want to talk, but I think we should wrap it up. You've given up an hour of your lives. That's awesome. Make sure you saw Joel the Geek was here today. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel. He does do reactions and cosplay montages, and every Sunday he does a does Mad Libs at 2 o'clock. Pacific time. I will not be here next Sunday. I am having a MRI scan because on top of this and my day job, I'm also a sick person. And so that's what I get to do with my Sunday. So I will not be live next Sunday. I will, yeah, and I have a medical procedure on Thursday too. So I'm going to be sick. So there's just no making up for this weekend. We'll have to skip and we will go. You like streams in general. That's funny, Martin, because I don't. I'm just trying to get through this quarantine, man. This is the best I can do. The #1 concert film was The Last Waltz from 1978. Wow, I haven't seen The Last Waltz in a long time. See, I keep writing these down. As long as you guys keep talking, I'll keep talking. So next week I will not be able to go live, but I will be planning on June 14th to go live. And we will be talking about another movie about music, and we'll be talking about some instruments and some musicians, all those good things that we talk about. You can see why we talk about movies, since some of the people who come here aren't musicians. We want to do something that those of us who love music can share with them and we can all learn from. Yeah, Martin, that's awesome. Yeah, I haven't done Twitch streaming. I want to do, this is Spinal Tap. But I'm going to have a guest for that. And even on StreamYard, you can have a guest for that. So I may have a guest to do that, but it's going to take 2 weeks. It's on, and it will be on June 14th. I got the date driven into my brain because our church is doing a food drive on that day. So it'll be a rush back after the food drive and then come and live stream on Sunday, June 14th. If you have a favorite music movie or favorite concert film you would like to talk about in one of these chats, just drop it. I mean, in one of these live streams, drop it here in the chat. Let me know and I will write it down and we will get to it because of your guys' support tonight. I feel good about doing this again. I wasn't so sure. Last week was slim pickings. If it wasn't for my mom and my best friend, I would have gone down in flames last week, but y'all showed up today and I really appreciate it. So we will pick this back up on June 14th. We'll skip a week and then come back. So you guys can watch some movies next Sunday and let me know what I need to see and what we can talk about, because it's been fun talking to you about movies and music and instruments and basses. Oh, wait, I still have one. Anybody that just came on? This is my go-to bass now. This is the one I play all the time now. When I'm playing on stage, this is the bass and this is the button. This thing drives me crazy. This toggle, I bump it every time I get it out of the case. I'm gonna change it to a knob, I think. Put it on the agenda, the 14th of June. Yes. Bye, Martin. You've been awesome. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Hey, Mama, I love you. Glad you got to meet all my friends. Joel, thank you for being here at the stream. We'll get it worked out so I can have mods next time. I'm glad I didn't get attacked. I would have had to have dealt with it at the same time. It would have been rough. Everybody got that? Great. Well, thank you so much for being here. I love you all. Take care. Stay safe. I'll be praying for you. I will see you in 2 weeks. Remove the knob. Yeah, I want to move this thing is just... I 100% of the time play with all of these. So I just want it in the resting spot all the time. Anyway, thank you, Bobby. It's so great to hear from you. It's been like 100 years, I feel like. So this has been great catching up with everybody. I remember Rocket Man. Oh, I haven't seen Rocket Man yet. Oh my gosh. I haven't seen it yet. Is it streaming somewhere? Someone let me know. You know, this is a guilty pleasure, but I love Across the Universe. Here I'm talking about things with fantasy sequence and all that. When that gal sings, I Want to Hold Your Hand, my heart just broke. It broke. Oh, look at me. Here's the tearing up. Be forewarned, live streams with crying. Anyway, this is Di, the bass playing mom. I am so glad to spend time with you. I will go to Prime and watch Rocket Man. Thank you so much. God bless. Take care and good night.